Hey race fans, it's race day top 5 with me, Frank 5. Tricky day at the Tricky Triangle. There's a reason they call it tricky. It's a triangle and it's shaped odd, and you can really never figure it out unless if you know how to shift properly and if you're a guy that's won there before. And our defending NASCAR champion conquered everything. He's back. Number 1, Martin Truex Jr., our defending Cup champion, hadn't won in 3 months. Been kind of a struggle for Martin Truex. Really thought he could be competitive and, compete with guys like Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch. He really hadn't done that for the last 3 months. Though lately he's gotten better by finishing second at both Kansas and Charlotte. But yesterday he was able to pull off kind of an upset in a ways to prove that he can still be competitive with Harvick and Kyle Busch as he captured the Pocono 400. And Martin Truex Jr. has won here before 2 years ago, during the year last year where Front Row Racing was a Chevrolet, and this time was in a Toyota Camry. And he kept in the top 5 the majority of the race. He wasn't the dominant car, but as long as he could stay with the front guys like Kevin and Kyle, then he was going to be perfectly fine. And he was able to stay up there. Late race cautions, guys were gambling, coming down pit road. They stayed out, so it was a smart call by crew chief Cole Pern, and they were able to hold off the rest of the pack. And, I don't know how they did it, but, they did it. And it's kind of a break now from Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch winning. People don't get tired of Martin Truex Jr. In fact, the whole grandstands yesterday were just cheering for Martin Truex because he's such a fan favorite, and people enjoy him and the stories that he goes through with his personal life, and of course his girlfriend Sherry Pollux, who's battled ovarian cancer, and she still remains a strong, powerful woman, and she and Martin just make a wonderful pairing. I couldn't be happier for those guys, and they just make the world happy for those guys. And Truex was able to get the job done yesterday, winning the race over Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick in the number 4, and Brad Keselowski in the number 2. Number 2, dominance. That's been the term with Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch. They were dominant yesterday, mostly Harvick. He led 89 laps. Kyle Busch, came on strong towards the end of the race. But unfortunately, debating the last pit stop, Harvick was on Martin Truex's side. They decided to stay out and not come and take tires. Unfortunately, Harvick got his butt kicked on the restarts with those guys coming with 2 tires or 4 tires, and he couldn't really get up there and compete with Truex or compete with Kyle Busch. Unfortunately, that's the gamble you take. Kyle Busch took 2 tires to try and get to the front and got him to third, but he didn't have any time to catch Truex. He raced too hard with Kyle Larson. But you know what? They're still continuing their dominance. These two, as well as Martin Truex Jr., are just literally the top 3 drivers in the class of the field as far as the season has gone so far. Number 3, overachieving. Sometimes drivers like to overachieve where they qualify or how they run in the race. Well, we saw that from a couple guys today. Kyle Larson qualified 13th on Friday in qualifying, and you really expected Kyle Larson to probably be in the top 5. But when the race got going, he just kept moving up to the front, was a top 5 car for the majority of the race, and took 2 tires and got his way up to second place. I know Larson's still inching for that first win of the season, but he continues to remain the best Chevy everywhere we've gone. Eric Almirola, he qualified 34th because he had a loose car in qualifying. People, if you saw how that back end was off at turn 3, not turn 4, because there's a sign on the wall saying, turn 4? Almirola was sideways loose. But when the race got going, he overachieved and moves his way up from 34th and finished a solid 7th, continuing what has been a really solid year for Eric Almirola and this whole 10 team, considering that they've been the joke of the Stewart-Haas class. This year, I wouldn't necessarily say you call them the joke, but they've been better than what they used to be in the past, and I couldn't be happy for them. And Joey Logano, at the end of stage 1 pit stop, because the fuel window is 35 to 40 laps, he ran out of gas because they didn't get the gas tank full of fuel on their pit stop at stage 1. And he went a lap down, and he pitted on the last lap of stage 1 when pit road is closed, because the rule is you cannot pit with less than 2 laps to go in stage. And Logano got his lap back, and he rebounded and finished 9th. So that's a good job for those guys to overachieve, where they've been running, and were able to capitalize on some solid results. Number 4, Jimmy Johnson. Yes, Jimmy Johnson. And this is, I know you're still shocked about this. He led his first laps of the season yesterday. The first 13 races we've run, Jimmy Johnson has not led a single lap. Yesterday, he led his first few laps, and he finished a solid 8th place finish. They're still not where they need to be, but Hendrick Motorsports and Jimmy Johnson have been getting better, and I give them kudos for stepping up the program since where they've been at the start of the season, particularly like Atlanta, because Daytona is unexpected. You never know what can happen. Number 5, we've been having the conversation, especially yesterday, who possibly is going to be the championship 4. We're already talking about it. We're halfway through the regular season. Who's going to be in the final 4? We're not talking about who makes the playoffs, because we got to worry about that when we've got 10 races to go, or 5 races to go. We talk about who's going to be in the Final Four. Well, people are already saying Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr. But who's the fourth person? People are saying Kyle Larson at the top of the list. And I wholeheartedly agree because he's been strong everywhere we've gone. He just hasn't won yet. But throw in possibly Brian Keselowski, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, or even Kurt Busch, or Denny Hamlin. And if somehow they can step it up, Jimmy Johnson and Chase Elliott, and even other guys, like, if they make the playoffs, like Alex Bowman, or Eric Almirola, or even Eric Jones. You got to somehow find a way to step up the program. If Clint Bowyer could have a shot, too. I mean, Boyer's been good this year. He could most likely be the Cinderella story of the top four. But we still have a long ways to go. But as right now, as far as I see it, my Final Four, Harvick, Busch, Truex, and Kyle Larson. I'm going to recap Chase Elliott. Solid top 10 effort yesterday and 3 races of top 15 finishes. We were kind of a 5th or 6th place finish car the majority of the race yesterday. And, I kind of debated, us staying out with Truex and Harvick on that early, caution towards the end of the race. They stayed out and we stayed out, and I didn't like that call. I thought that was a bad call. And, then we got shoveled back to 9th, and then when a caution came out for Hamlin and Alex Bowman crashing, we decided, just come in and get 4 tires because nobody else has got fresh tires left in the pits. And we passed guys like crazy. I mean, thanks to a little bit of a restart caution incident with Eric Jones, we passed we restarted 21st and we finished 10th. I don't know how we did that. I'm happy about the finish. I really wish we could have finished a little bit better, but still, it's a good result for us and helped us in points. We earned stage points, and we are jumped from 16th to 14th in the standings, which I think is a good improvement going into Michigan, a track where Chase Elliott's best finish there is second 3 times in a row. So next week we go to the Irish Hills in Michigan, and Kyle Larson has been phenomenal there. He's won the last 3 of the 4 races we've been there in the past. Can he get his first win of the season next Sunday? Can Chase Elliott break through for his first win at that track where he's finished second 3 times? Or could an underdog take the top spot? Could even Matt Kenseth take it to top spot in his 6th car? Only time will tell. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Congrats to the champ Truex. He's back in victory circle and back on the momentum track. And I'll see you all next week as we take on the Irish Hills in Michigan.